How's it going, everybody? That's right, I almost forgot. You know, it's been nearly a year since I performed live stand-up. A lot of people were wondering how I was even going to do a comedy special in the middle of a pandemic. They would ask me, Jared, how are you going to tell jokes to an empty room? Listen, folks, I've been doing that for 4 years. 4 years of open mics, crowds of 10 to 12, most of them comics. This is an improvement. I guess the real question here is, why do a stand-up special in the first place? Well, the truth is, I'm bored. I didn't learn how to bake bread like the rest of you. I didn't get the memo that everyone was going to become a baker over quarantine, okay? I could never get my loaf to rise. It was soggy. My mom said it tasted like crap. I wasn't productive. I sat around and told jokes all day. And if I pitch another bad one to my girlfriend, she will break up with me. So that's why I'm doing this special. And quite frankly, I have a lot to say. I've changed a lot in the past few months. I mean, this is what I looked like in March. I look like lesbian Jonah Hill. Now, I look like lesbian Jonah Hill's mugshot. I was actually really happy with my new look. I wanted to post some photos to Facebook, show myself off a little bit. And I had a lot of friends and family reaching out, wondering, what in the hell happened to you? This is true. People were genuinely concerned if I was okay. How rude. Of course I'm not okay. I haven't been okay in 5 years. I just got a haircut. You could have checked in at any time. I've got my problems like everyone else. I just didn't want to look like a little boy anymore. It was mostly boomers who were wondering if I was fine, you know, because that's how boomers think. A haircut's a big deal. I'm from Gen Z. We don't give a shit about anything. As long as I have my pronouns in my bio, I can tweet 9/11 memes all day long. One of the reasons I changed my look is because people have always said I look like my father's twin. That sucks. Because I don't look like how my dad did at 21. I look like him now at 51. He's old. Every time he burps, I smell his ghost. The only thing that we have in common now is that as I get older, every time I burp, I also smell his ghost. Here's the real reason why my dad's burps are so disgusting. You can pick out the individual food items from within the burp. Seriously, I can smell his cheeseburger with lettuce and tomatoes, Heinz 57 and fresh fried potatoes, big kosher pickle and a cold draft beer. Good God almighty, my dad's burp is literally a Jimmy Buffett song. And that's what truly makes it disgusting. I love my whole family, I really do. I love my mom. She's just an amazing person. Because she loves my sister and I unconditionally. She does like me more. Listen, she would never say that. But she's not that great at hiding it. I'll give you an example. One time, my sister pissed my mom off so hard that the only thing my mom could do was throw an apple at her. And before you go and judge my mom, you need to realize at the time, my sister was a teenager. Teenage girls could commit genocide if they had the right platform. She was a menace, and my mom threw an apple at her, and it hit her in the shoulder so hard that the core popped out. I'm the favorite child because my mom only ever threw clementines at me. My parents are the perfect example of two people from very different backgrounds coming together and falling in love. See, my father was raised Jewish, but my mother Catholic. I was raised Jewish. My mom converted in 2008, but when they were dating, she was still Catholic. And early on in their relationship, they got an invite for a wedding in Buffalo, New York, my mom's hometown. And this was a special wedding because it was going to be the first time my dad had ever been in a church. And that's an interesting moment, your first time in a church. You feel out of place, things are kind of awkward, and it fucking sucks, dude. It is so boring. The Christians read from their own book, but it's really just a shitty sequel. But my dad gets to the church, and the first thing that catches his eyes is the confession booths. He's so curious, in fact, that when no one's looking, he sneaks in one. He's in there for 10, 20 seconds, when the other door opens, and in walks a lady. And it's in this moment, my dad realizes he's on the wrong side. And he thinks, fuck it, I'm a priest now. And so he has this woman confess, and she goes on and on about all the sinful things that she's done, and she finally lands on, I gave oral sex to my boyfriend. My dad has no idea what to say. I mean, he's seen movies before. He knows it's 2 Hail Marys and a blah, 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 but he doesn't know what to say for a blowjob. I don't even think he knew that a blowjob was a sin, but I guess that's why my mom converted. And so he's panicking, and very uncharacteristically for a Jew, he reaches for the Bible. And a miracle happens. Because on the very first page of the Bible is a laminated sheet of paper, and on that sheet of paper is a chart of 2 columns. On the left side is a list of various sinful acts, and on the right side has the appropriate amount of prayers to say for said sinful acts. Goldmine, my dad thinks, and he searches for blowjob, but he can't find blowjob. And he searches for fellatio, and he can't find fellatio. And sure, he finds sex, but nothing about oral sex. And so he calls it quits. He leaves the confession booth. But on his way out, a group of altar boys walk by. And in a last-ditch effort, my dad says, "Excuse me, altar boys, what does Father St. Angelo give for a blowjob?" And the altar boys say, "Hey man, we're not supposed to talk about that. And I have my own girlfriend who comes from a different background. Because while I was raised Jewish, my girlfriend's great-grandfather was like legit a Nazi." Listen, I don't hold it against her. I don't even think about it that often. Except for when I'm having sex with my girlfriend. Sorry, TMI, but I count that as a win. All right, I'm literally slam dunking right over the master plan. But it is true. Her great-grandfather was drafted into the German army. But his son, my girlfriend's grandfather, fled to America, had kids of his own. One of those kids had kids of his own. Her being my girlfriend Ellie, she decided to go to the same school as me without us ever having met each other. We applied to live in the same dorm, and we met at a dorm party a few months later. What are the odds of that? 6 million to 1. Those are the odds. One of the things that happened over quarantine is, as a country, we learned that there are a lot of divisions in America today. Red versus blue, black versus white, Xbox X Series versus PlayStation 5. It's tearing the country apart. Some of these divisions, however, are actually seasonal. Like around this time of the year, there are those who say, "Happy holidays," and those who say, "Take the Christ out of Christmas, I'll kill you." Both sides make good points. Because we should all be saying happy holidays. As a Jewish person, it makes me feel comfortable. Even if Christmas is the superior holiday. I mean, it's the truth. Hanukkah is a bit of a letdown. And that's because, it's based off of a stupid miracle. The wax in the candles lasted 8 days and 8 nights. Candles lasting 8 days. As opposed to their normal lifespan of, 2 to 3 years. I'm 21 years old. I have candles in my house that are older than me. Secondly, the fact that Hanukkah has 8 days of presents doesn't make it better than Christmas. You think we want to wait to open our gifts? That's torture for a kid. Yeah, every evening is a gamble, and if you don't pick your presents right, by night 3, you could be stuck with socks, deodorant, and a Coldplay CD. Some of you might be thinking, Jared, Coldplay CD, that's pretty specific. Yeah, because I got one, 2008, Viva La Vida, very mediocre gift, Mom. Hanukkah just ends up being 8 nights of complaining. How Jewish can a holiday be? So there you have it, Christmas, superior to Hanukkah. Although, I have no authority to speak on Kwanzaa, and I definitely have no idea what Boxing Day is, but based off of the name, I assume it involves eating pussy. My favorite story from the Old Testament is the one of Abraham, the very first Jew. God came down and said, Abraham, I will make you the first Jew. And Abraham said, wow, God, it's great to meet you, but I don't really know what it means to be a Jew. Can you tell me a little bit more? Why, of course. You will be the leader of the chosen people who believe in one true God, and you will take them to the promised land of Israel. And a few hundred years later, Hollywood, but we'll get to that. Wow, being Jewish sounds great. I'm not finished. You have to be weary, Abraham. The Jewish people have many natural enemies. Muslims, Christians, milk. Oh, well that doesn't sound as pleasant, but hey, that Israel place seems pretty nice. Could you tell me a little bit more about that? Why, of course. Israel, it is promised to the Jewish people, and it will be theirs forever. I mean, I think so. To be honest, a lot of people are going to try to take it. Oh, well, then we will fight them. Your guys' thing is more hiding. I don't know, God, but being Jewish just doesn't sound that great. Oh, come on, Abraham. It's not that hard to give up bacon. Motherfucker, bacon too? So God says, I will make you a Jew. All you have to do is kill your son. So Abraham, he just said yes, okay, because, he wasn't Jewish yet, so he wasn't really down for the negotiations. He took that deal at face value. And he was going to do it. He took his son Isaac to the top of a mountain, tied him down, and he was going to kill him when God came flying through the sky and was like, whoa, 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 I didn't mean it, you schmuck. But all right, you've proven yourself. You can be a Jew. And Abraham said, because he's a Jew now. He can make that noise and he can handle it. He says, God, you're a bit of a dick. And God says, bit of a dick? Yeah, I knew I forgot something. I did do a lot of thinking over quarantine. I picked apart our society and I wanted to find out what was wrong with it. Here's something that I found that's weird. I was talking to my friend Clark. My friend Clark is Asian. And he said something interesting. He said that when he's around his other Asian friends and family, if he doesn't act Asian enough, he can get his Asian card revoked. Now, first off, I didn't even know that races were getting their own cards now. But I did some research. It's true. There's an Asian card, an Indian card, a black card. Here I was thinking the black card was just that thing in my wallet with my dad's name on it. So I did some more research and I realized that I am the owner of a white card. Some things that come with owning a white card, a little bit of guilt. But that's just because the cashback deals are ridiculous. Holy shit. I'm talking 90% off time served for a guilty conviction. Cards aren't just based off of race. I also learned that you have cards for different genders. Like if you're born a male, you're given a man card. And you're told to never ever lose your man card. But guess what? It is so easy to lose your man card. There's no set rules for what causes a loss of a man card. It could be something as simple as, hey, what is that, a White Claw? Give me your man card. What are you watching, Pitch Perfect, fucking Revoked? It's that easy. Every person who's born gets a V card. And I thought the V card was the same deal as the man card. Hold on to it for as long as possible. No. Turns out you're supposed to lose that thing. Yeah, quickly. And weird enough, if you lose it at a young enough age, you typically get someone else's V card. And you carry that around with you for the rest of your life until that person resents the fact that you have their V card. Sometimes you'll meet guys who walk around with 10 V cards in their wallet. Those guys are creeps. Or a spokesperson for a sandwich franchise. I held on to my V card for so long that it expired. Yeah, I didn't even know that they could do that. I had to get a new V card. I had to go down to the DMV, the Department of Miserable Virgins. Some of these cards that we get in life actually can be played. You can use them. Like I have a Jew card. And it's not that hard to get a Jew card. I'm actually a platinum status Jew card holder. And that's because my nose is bigger than my penis. You might be thinking, Jared, your nose isn't that big. Yeah. Some of these cards can only be played by specific people. Let me explain. Parents have access to the all-powerful guilt card. Yeah. The goal of the guilt card is, to give as many as you can to your children until one day they end up in therapy. So I got a lot of thinking about these imaginary cards and mainly labels that we put on society. And it got me frustrated, so I started thinking, well, what about physical cards in real life? You know, those make sense. Birthday card for your birthday. Driver's ID so that you can drive. I thought that color-coded cards would be the easiest thing to understand, right? Because, a yellow or a red card is a penalty in soccer. But a green card lets you live in the United States of America. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day. She does not understand my eating habits. She just doesn't understand how I put so much garbage into my body. So I had to tell her, listen, babe, I was a fat kid. And she told me, Jared, I was a fat kid too. And I said, no. You don't understand. I was the fat kid. Of my friends, I was the fat kid. In the school, I got my nipples twisted constantly. Why? Because I was the fat kid. My girlfriend said, Jared, I think you're exaggerating. I was heavy set too, but I started eating well, I started exercising, and now I'm very happy and healthy. And I went, you don't understand. I was the fat kid. A snack to me was a swig of soy sauce. That's true. When I was hungry and I had nothing to eat, I would take a swig of soy sauce. Why? I was the fat kid. Now, I'm something worse. A fat guy. Not much hope in that one. I think back to my senior year. I'm graduating soon, and I'm living in the San Fernando Valley, right outside of Los Angeles. And on this particular night, I'm hanging out with my best friend. Little does she know, I've been in love with her for 5 years. So we're hanging out at a lookout point on top of a low mountain. And the night's going so well, I start thinking, wow, maybe I could tell this girl how I feel. And the night starts getting even better, and I think, priorities, Jared. Maybe you can finally get laid. Because listen, the weekend before I was playing laser tag. This weekend I'm trying to lose my virginity. I'm a senior now. I'm an adult. It's time to make real decisions. Oh my God, this could happen. So I start getting stage fright. And when I get stage fright, I have to pee. And I wanted to get that out of the way because I didn't want to bring, I mean, maybe she did. When you're a virgin, you don't bring that to the table. So I ran to a bush where no one could see me, and I start peeing. And as I'm peeing, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling gassy because I'm Jewish. That's not a Holocaust joke. That's a lactose intolerance joke. And so I'm peeing, and I'm feeling gassy, and I decide to fart. Because if this is going to happen, it's going to happen in my car. I have a Honda Civic, but it's a coupe. It's a smaller space, the whole gas in the air. We're both Jewish. That's the Holocaust joke. And so I'm peeing, and I'm feeling gassy, and I decide to fart, and I fart, and as I fart, a little bit of poop shoots out. Poop! Are you kidding me? And when it happened, I freaked, I clenched, and I caught it. And my first thought is, maybe she won't notice. And then instantly I come back to reality. I'm like, Jared, sex is off the table. You gotta get out of there. But to end the night would be horrifically awkward. It's going well. It's romantic. Now I just have to end it all? Plus, on top of everything, I have shit in my ass. I've got to walk to the car, open the door, get in the car, a coupe. It is low to the ground. And so I make up some excuse and I say that my mom wants me home early and we run to the car and she looks disappointed and I'm disappointed, but what are you going to do? So I put the keys in the ignition and I turn it. Nothing. Brutal metaphor for what's happening in that very moment. The car, of course, representing my penis. Which is that nothing is happening for it. And also, remember, it's a coupe. It's a smaller car. So now I'm talking to Honda Roadside Assistance. It's going to take them 90 minutes to come get us. Do you know how much worse this situation just got? We are trapped on top of a mountain. How romantic. We have 90 minutes, and she and I both know I only need 2. She's leaning over the middle console, trying to act all flirty, touchy. I'm sitting there motionless, stiff like Stephen Hawking, thinking, "Dear God, I hope she doesn't smell it." Eventually, I did get off of that mountain. Yeah. Jose came, he jumped my Civic, and we were off. And I don't know if it was from fear or embarrassment, but I drove off of that mountain so hard and so fast that if you go back today, you will see a deep, dark pair of skid marks. I'm Jared Lee Wiseman. Stay safe. Thank you.
I woke up at 7 a.m. I made some toast and it got stuck. I reached it with my bare hand. Someone call a fire truck. Shit! God damn it! Oh! I'm in my hand! Oh my God! Please! This sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks! Make to play at 6 p.m. Wanted to have a little snack. I couldn't find my oven mitts. Now that bastard bird is back. There it is. Yeah. God damn it. I'm in my head. I wanna die. Jesus. This sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. 911, what's your emergency?